Hey party people, welcome back to Common Rabble. This is Hoodie, back from the dead, and I'm joined today by
DZ
and Pat
and our special guest,
A1.
Unfortunately, Ham isn't able to be with us tonight. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, but we send him all our best wishes, and hopefully he'll be back with us next week. So, big announcement for this week. We are coming to Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, pretty much everywhere you get your podcasts as of Friday, June 6th. So we will see you there. Now, as we all know, I was absent last week. I was in Vegas attending Sick New World. If any of you guys were there, hit us up. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, pretty much any social media of your choice. Twitter too. Let us know if you were there, what bands you liked, who you wanted to see that maybe you didn't. I was pretty much passed out during ministry, so I missed that. But hey, it was a good time. All that said, Pat, how you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good. The festival was fun overall.
Oh, absolutely.
Good times.
Papa Roach absolutely slayed.
Hell yeah.
I went to see them because, you know, we grew up on that. And I thought it'd be fun. I was shocked at how good they would be because I saw them at Aftershock last year and they were not that good. Mm-hmm. Really, really good at Sick New World.
Was it earlier on in the day they're set or later on in the day they're set?
No, it was pretty early. I think they went on like right after 2:00.
Oh, okay, for sure.
I caught a little bit of Death Grips right after them too, and I thought I was going to die. No, Death Grips was super cool. I only stayed for one song though because it was getting super, super, super rowdy.
Yeah.
Probably the best band I saw the whole show was Turnstile, and that's who I was going for anyway.
Hell yeah, bro.
Pat and I saw Turnstile.
We did.
February?
In February, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Yeah, absolutely killer show that was. System of a Down was still really good, and they played a fat set. I think
I saw the set list. It was really good.
It's like 30 songs, I think, something like that.
It's some deep ass cuts. I was like, oh shit, they're playing Spiders.
Yeah. Okay, so I admittedly did not watch the whole thing because I was watching Vilvallo because I'm a huge him fan, and I knew he was gonna play like a solo song, him song.
Yeah, he knows what the people are there for.
Join Me in Death. I was vibing super hard, and then I remember walking away so I could start going towards System. And as soon as I walked away, I started hearing the riff to Wings of a Butterfly. And I was like, turn around, go back.
Gotta go right back.
The only thing that I regret about watching Vilvallo was that I also missed Body Count. And I was super ready to watch Body Count.
That could have been fun.
I think it would have been fun, but Vilvallo, man. Yeah, System was really good. I got really down when they played Radio Video. It's probably my favorite song. Unpopular opinion, I know, but hey, come at me. I went to the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum.
What is that?
So you ever watch Ghost Adventures?
No, I think actually maybe that's just one of those like paranormal activity. Like we're gonna go to this place. Is it haunted?
Exactly.
People say it is, and we can't prove it, but we're gonna try.
So the guy that hosts that show owns a museum in Vegas. It's like this old manor that this family owned back in the day. And the place itself is apparently haunted. And so he turned it into a museum of all these crazy, like possessed dolls, just really weird shit. He has a lot of kind of like crazy serial killer memorabilia too.
Cool.
He's got some of like Manson's ashes. He's got Manson's jumpsuit from prison. He's got some stuff from like Bundy, Richard Ramirez, Ed Gein, so on and so forth. That's kind of like the start part of the museum. Not like the first thing you see, but it's one of the first things that you get to. You guys know Bela Lugosi?
Yeah.
Pretty much like the original Dracula, also allegedly known occultist. He has Bela Lugosi's mirror that apparently he would scry into to try to like talk to the dead and summon spirits and all that jazz. Yeah, I went with my dad. My dad's a big believer in the paranormal stuff. I'm very skeptical about the whole thing, but it's a cool place. There's a lot of weird shit in there.
This was out in Vegas too, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Was it bad vibes the whole time walking through the building or what?
Okay, so I've been on the Haunted Museum tour once before, and he's opened up new parts of the museum since then. Like before, the basement of the house, was not open to the public whatsoever. It's still not completely open in that you have to like get the VIP tour thing.
Yeah.
But my dad was just like, "Oh, we're gonna get the VIP tour. We're going to the basement."
I'm not going in the basement of a haunted house like that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that was the only thing that kind of messed me up.
Yeah.
And I was telling A1 about it before we went on air, but I went down in the basement, and apparently they used to, like, whoever owned the house at some point used to do like satanic rituals in there. And there was
course.
like, when Zach bought the place, there was a pentagram just painted on the floor, and there was still like dried specks of blood and all that kind of jazz.
Oh, lovely.
Down there. Yeah, right. And he has a spirit box set up in there, one of those little things that like plays white noise, but like sometimes voices, quote, quote, come through there. And I told, like I said, I'm a skeptic. But I was walking in there, the air was like real heavy. It was just very tense feeling. And I swear to God, something talked to me.
Fuck.
And like in a way that I can't explain. And I'm like, I have to go.
Hey, Hoodie, eat this chicken wing.
I mean, I would have taken that. But I mean, my dad, the only time he ever went in the basement, he said he went down there and so you kind of got to walk through this like corridor. It's like a catacomb almost, right? And he's like, yeah, I walked and I hit that left into where the basement starts, and the spirit box is playing right there. And he's like, as soon as I crossed the threshold into that room, I just heard, "Get out." I'm like, nope.
Fuck.
Nope.
That.
I mean, like I said, I'm skeptical about the whole thing. My dad's a big believer in it, but 3 times, at least 2 that I can think of, he's gone to the museum and something weird has happened to him. The first time was when I went with him and his eye got all messed up. And I'm like, you probably got an eyelash in your eye or something. Sent me a picture of it later in the day. His eye was like damn near swollen shut. It was all red. He went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, we can't explain it.
Wow. Don't love that.
Yeah. I don't think I brought anything back from Vegas.
Well, we have it now. So
If we get the paranormal eye infection next.
there's no episode next week.
Paranormal pink eye.
Yeah.
Heyo.
So a ghost farted in your face while you're there. I think that's what it was.
They do make you sign a waiver that basically says we are not liable if you die.
Yeah.
Don't huff any ghost farts. You'll be fine.
Don't eat ghost ass, whatever you do.
He has this one thing. It's called a Dybbuk box. And basically it was like a box that was used to like try to trap a demon or something. And one of the things they have before you go in all the rooms that they didn't have before, they have like monitors before you go in the rooms, and they'll talk about what's in there, and they'll show security cam footage of people passing out or just freaking out or whatever.
Nice.
And again, I'm skeptical, so I'm like, it's all staged or whatever, but there's some weird energy about that place. Highly recommend it. If you guys go to Vegas, listeners, if any of you go to Vegas, the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum is honestly a pretty good time, regardless of whether you think it's all bullshit or not. Like, it's fun for, like 2 hours. Something different to do than drinking, gambling, or the typical Vegas debauchery.
They should let you kill a guy for like, that should be ultra VIP.
Here's this special knife.
That would get me to cash out.
If you stab it in the air over here, you'll kill a ghost. See, you win. You pay $10 extra, you get to kill a ghost.
Oh.
No one ever knows.
Okay, so he has a lot of Hollywood memorabilia too. He has one of Patrick Swayze's teeth.
Weird, but I mean, you take anything you can get from Patrick Swayze.
I guess, but one of the cool things that he had added to the Hollywood memorabilia thing since the last time I went, he has one of the trench coats worn by Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow. Now,
that's cool.
Still verifying if it's the one that he died in or like he was shot in.
I was going to ask, did he die in that trench coat?
He's still trying to get verification on that because I think, if I remember my history correctly, there was like 24-ish different coats that were made for Brandon Lee just for The Crow. So, yeah. If it is the one that he died in, that's crazy.
He got shot? That's how he died? He got shot on set? Was it like a prop gun thing?
So, the gun was supposed to be firing blanks. To my understanding, something had got...
Alec Baldwin loaded it.
Stop. We're not going there right now.
He was in charge of safety.
I guess something got stuck in the barrel of the gun, like some debris. And while a blank doesn't have a bullet, it still, can propel something out of the gun. So whatever was in there he basically got shot.
There was an episode of Thousand Ways to Die where that's one of the things where there was like a magician and he tapped his magic wand on the edge of the barrel of the gun with the blank in it, and the piece of paper from the edge of his wand fell into it, and when the dude shot it as his assistant, the paper or whatever was on it killed his assistant. But it's 1,000 Ways to Die, so I mean it's like dramatization, but it's really funny.
Can we talk about the fact that we all grew up on Spike TV and 1,000 Ways to Die and
just
Mansers?
mentioning that show really brings me back. Did they ever get to 1,000? I don't. That show was on for a while.
Yeah,
They might have.
I honestly feel like that kind of stuff, and Deadliest Warrior. We all remember Deadliest Warrior. Yeah. I feel like we're dumber because of all
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I still enjoyed my time.
we 100% lost some brain cells. Oh man, that takes me back. I tell you what.
I don't think Spike TV's even on anymore.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. But I just got back the last time you guys were potting. I was flying back.
Right.
So sorry I missed you guys, but I think one of my biggest regrets about going to Vegas on the 12th is that Tears of the Kingdom came out the day I went to Vegas, and I obviously wasn't bringing my Switch with me. And hey, guess what? I still haven't played it yet. I'm very upset. For anybody listening who doesn't already know this, Zelda is my favorite gaming franchise of all time. So this is a really big deal for me. And I'm really behind right now. Today is the 22nd. It's been 10 days and I haven't touched it yet. What am I doing?
Yeah, damn. Good problem to have, though, because it's not going anywhere and it will be ready for you when you are ready.
But Pat, I was ready 3 months ago.
Fair.
And on top of that, Final Fantasy 16 is like about less than a month away right now. I think I need to power through this.
15 to 20 days to finish that game.
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on what I've heard, people are talking about, the tutorial island. I've been here for 5 hours on the tutorial island.
I have played it a little bit. I'm not much beyond the tutorial island, but yeah, it's like a multi-hour tutorial section. It's very involved.
I haven't bought it yet. I've almost bought it a couple times. I was watching some TikTok videos, then my For You page got flooded with just people making mechs and drones and random flying shit, and then the one, like the last video I saw was they're Koroks? What are they called? The little
guys
leaf people.
Yeah, those are Koroks.
Yeah.
Koroks. There's some dude that just made a shield out of Koroks because they're invincible.
Okay.
Yeah, and he just like made a shield of like 9 or 10 of them around himself, and he's just getting blasted by giant monsters and nothing happens to him because they're all invincible and they take no damage.
That's really funny. Also, he probably had to go really out of his way to collect 9 of them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't all be near each other.
That's what someone was saying. There's like 100 of them in the game, and
There's like 900.
There's like 900.
There was 900 in Breath of the Wild.
This is correct.
There might be more in this one.
Or you have to find 100 of them to help them or something. There's like a quest like that or something.
You find the little ones just like hidden around the world. Like sometimes you'll just pick up a rock and there's one under it. But in Tears of the Kingdom, there's a new type of them, which is a Korok that's stuck on a big backpack.
Yeah.
And they want to go be returned to their friends, which are usually somewhere in the surrounding area.
Gotcha.
And that encourages you to use the new building features to
move them,
contraptions and devices to move them.
Yeah, I saw some guy made a freaking cart.
Yeah.
And just threw like 12 of them in a cart and they're just bouncing around while he's running. Then something hit him and just launched them. Yeah. Something hit his cart. They just got launched all over. Yeah.
I've only done one of those so far, but yeah, I made just like a janky little car.
Yeah.
And drove one guy across a field.
Which
was hard because I could not steer the car. But we got there.
It looks like I mean, the ones I've seen, like people have clearly spent a lot of time, and I know that there's some of these folks are probably emulating it or something on their PC just to get more control or
probably. I will say, performance wise, the Switch is a real old piece
and it's
of hardware.
Doing fine.
It gets lapped by cell phones these days, I think.
Yeah,
but it's run fine for me. It's a pretty stable 30 FPS. If 30 FPS isn't a deal breaker for you, I have really no issues about performance.
I've heard that it's really that game on this console is kind of crazy on how well it runs on that. What essentially is like it's like an NVIDIA phone.
Yeah, the shield, I think. Was that their little tablet thing?
There was some little thing, and I think it's like the same GPU or whatever that's in that or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the Switch was underpowered when it came out, and that was 7 years ago.
And even my OLED Switch is still the same thing. They didn't even upgrade anything besides the display.
Hey, in reference to the Switch being underpowered, I think it's really funny that the Switch as a console, especially for that time, when you look at its competitors, was severely underpowered and still managed to have some of the absolute best games of the time.
Nintendo don't play. They don't give a shit.
They really don't, but Pokemon is so bad right now.
Yeah.
Like, for all you Poke fans, I'm sorry, but Scarlet and Violet ain't it, Chief.
It's not great.
It's trash.
I gave up. I put a decent amount of time into Scarlet, and I gave up.
I tried so hard to get into Sword and Shield, and I devoted a lot of time into it. I became the Pokemon League champion, and then for the first time since Yellow version, I regretted putting that much time into Pokemon, and it felt awful.
Yeah, I agree. I finished Sword and Shield too, but I don't think it was particularly great. And Scarlet and Violet, it's just like they finally went open world, and it didn't change anything, and it maybe made stuff worse.
Wait, Sword and Shield was open world, technically.
Technically, this one is like the real open world.
Like you're not gonna be able to not walk backwards or something.
Sword and Shield, I think the progression was pretty open, but like in terms of the wild area, that's the only place you could find Pokemon.
Yeah, that's
Scarlet
true.
and Violet. The entire map is the wild area. There's Pokemon everywhere.
Oh, okay.
But it's also terribly optimized and looks like shit and runs terribly. And when you compare, and there's nothing in the world. All they're rendering is Pokemon and a couple trees and rocks.
Yeah.
And then you play Zelda, and there's shit everywhere and a crazy physics system that somehow works no matter what you do. And I don't know.
On that, one of the things I was watching was talking about how, like, when you're building stuff, the game has to remember the position of all of the fucking items and what they're doing, because it has to be able to rewind stuff too.
Yeah, one of your main abilities is a time reversal.
And so
ability.
It's constantly keeping track of so much shit while being able to do that. That is like, it's kind of wild that they can do it. And and Pokemon can't even make a good game anymore. Yeah.
You can really tell that a ton of time was put into polishing this game.
Yeah.
And Pokemon is just trying to get it out the door as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them. Pokemon prints money.
Yes,
they don't even have to try. But it would just be nice if they...
They're not selling that game to you. They're selling that game to children.
Unfortunately, I'm also buying it. Maybe I should.
We are still the target audience. Okay, look, see, here's my thing. We grew up, we all, I think... We were kids when, Yellow and Gold and Silver and stuff was coming out.
We were an average age of 30.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my big thing is how incredible it was when I was playing, Gold and Silver, and I beat Johto. I became the Johto League champion, and they were like, hey, here's this ticket for the SSN. And I'm like, wait, I know that name. They're like, you're going to go sail back to Pokemon 1, and you're going to go play Pokemon 1 again, too. And I was just like, huh? Yeah. That was incredible, especially for that time.
On the Game Boy.
The Game Boy.
You had to do any, or it was just on the gold version? The
Gold, Silver, and Crystal. As soon as you beat the game, they were like, great, now go beat
Pokemon 1 again?
Red, Blue, and Yellow again.
Oh, but they were both, like, the Red, Blue, and Yellow essentially were on Gold, Silver, and whatever.
Yeah, it's the same game.
Yeah.
You just can access this entirely new region that you didn't even know was in the game until you finish it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah. You can access the region that is only accessible in the first game, sort of.
Yes.
That is the first game.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
It was just unprecedented for the time because we didn't have anything to go off of, obviously.
Because it wasn't like in the original Pokemon games when you played it, you weren't able to go back and play the other half of some game you didn't know existed.
Well, up until that point, the only game that had existed was Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Only one other version to go back to at this point.
If I remember my history correctly, I think pretty much the whole reason we get to go back to Kanto in Gold, Silver, and Crystal is because of Iwata. So, R.I.P., man.
R.I.P. to the GOAT.
Hey, A1, do you have any good Pokemon memories since we're here?
Finding out, realizing that Pokemon games are a scam.
I said good
So
memories.
good
dude.
memories.
It's a good memory for me because I haven't wasted money on that shit since.
Well, now I'm
Diamond
curious.
and Pearl
What was
came out.
the straw that broke your back?
Just realizing you can't collect all the Pokemon without doing some Humpty
Wow.
Dumpty
Oh, that's
bullshit.
been true from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
They want you to just have friends, but people will just buy both versions.
yeah.
That's what I did.
And they're not upset if you do that.
But there's also special trades you need to do to do stuff.
Yeah,
to
because
get-
they want you to have, they want you to talk to your friends.
and they want you to complete it too.
The straw that really broke the camel's back was that 4th gen where when you really couldn't actually catch all the Pokemon. It was just like, oh, you had to do some slick shit to jump back to have all the Pokemon in the Pokédex or something like that. Basically, from what I understand, there is a point where you can't have all the Pokemon realistically. Like you can't trade
there
backwards.
was a generation, I think it was 3 or 4 that made it like very difficult or impossible to collect.
It wasn't 3
Pokemon.
because Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were still on the Game Boy Advance,
Yeah.
and there was a way you could definitely go from Gold and Silver,
Yes.
all the way up to
It was
there.
a process, but you could do it.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was Gen 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Diamond and Pearl because going from the Game Boy to the DS was I think what
does
broke.
put an interface. Yeah, no, you're right.
But
you're
then
right.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which I still think is the pinnacle of Pokemon.
I should play it.
You haven't played it?
I've never played Heart. I've played Gold and Silver. I've never played Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
The Game Boy to the DS, you couldn't put an original Game Boy cartridge in the DS, but also they didn't have the same transfer cable.
I don't remember if you could put an original Game Boy cartridge. You could
you
for
should
sure
have
do a
put-
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
Game Boy
there was a
Advance for
slot
sure.
on that.
Yeah.
You couldn't. I don't think you could.
I actually think you could because
Oh yeah.
listeners
I don't
correct me
think
if
so.
I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I played Link's Awakening DX with the cartridge half sticking out of my DS at one point.
Version of the DS that they made that did not accept the older version anymore.
Yeah, the 3DS.
Well, that didn't accept either.
If there was one
Yeah.
version of the DS that could do that, it was only the original. I'm sure.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Because I had the original DS, and maybe that's.
And I feel like it could only do Game Boy Advance, but I might be wrong. I
Yeah.
never had an OG DS, so
Oh, I had
you
I
tell
had
me.
no GDS. I think you could have, but I feel like it was some point where I was like, you weren't able to put an original Game Boy cartridge in one of the DSs or something.
DS Lite, maybe?
Maybe
DSi.
Oh, no.
because you could still
Let's
do
not go
Game
there.
Boy Advance, but you couldn't do the original GBA because like the slot is different on the cartridge or something stupid.
But the Game Boy Advance could play Game Boy games,
Yes.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's just like
And I'm happy you brought up Heart Gold and Soul Silver because I did have Leaf Green, Fire Red. but
Oh, yeah.
It was literally Heart Gold and Soul Silver that made me realize they're just reskinning.
Was that
shit.
the pedometer one?
That one did have the little poke pedometer
that you
thing.
put on your ceiling fan at some point, or was that was
remember.
Ham? Ham put it on a
Yeah.
ceiling fan to lie to it.
Nah,
anything
yeah.
to avoid exercise.
Yeah.
But nah, I just don't fuck with the fact that they literally won't put out a single game where you can catch all 11 million Pokemon. There's so many Pokemon
There's gotta
out
be
there.
one that
You
they're
can
gonna
really
do.
just make one game and catch them all at this point.
Oh, Pokemon Go.
Please, just make that.
I don't even think you can do it in Pokemon Go.
Okay, you can't because not every Pokemon is in Pokemon Go yet. But
we go.
while we're here, there's a lot of controversy about Pokemon Go since they jacked up the prices on everything
They have prices.
Yeah,
for all the things that you can buy, like
You can buy stuff.
raid passes, remote raid passes. If you don't have friends, yeah, you can buy a lot of shit in Pokemon Go.
I didn't know that.
And they hiked up the prices
I
super
wonder
hard.
How much Ham is spent on Pokemon Go? That's a question I'm gonna have to ask him next time.
Hey,
Next time he
Ham.
plays it a lot.
If you're listening, please reach out.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know how much money you've spent on Pokemon Go.
Drop a comment, like and subscribe. Really helps us out.
That's how we'll know you listened.
Seeing as how Oakland is a PvP zone, I don't see how y'all still play Pokemon Go.
Bro, my neighborhood is okay, wait, I don't play Pokemon Go anymore, but my neighborhood is a fucking hotspot for PvP. There's gym down the street. There's gym back by where Pat works.
I meant literal physical PvP.
Talking about assault and violence.
Pokemon Go died for me. I don't play that shit no more.
I think I played Pokemon Go twice, and once was at the San Leandro Marina when there was like a billion other people there. We like went in the middle
Yeah,
of the
we
night.
all rolled out one night, I think.
And then after that, I was like, "Oh, that's
Sketchy?
that's too much socialization for me. I'm fucking good. Bye." And I just didn't. I don't want to play.
Did you go on like a community day or
It
something?
was literally like for one of the first ones. This was like
Oh.
release week or something like that, and it was like me, you,
I was
Ham, you,
I came.
yeah, and a couple other people. I don't even know. Maybe 4D was there. There was literally just a bunch of us. It was almost 20 people type of thing.
See, it's funny that you say that, D, because I went to, I think on release week, I happened to just be going to SF or something, not Pokemon Go, because at the time it dropped, I was being a fossil with my phone, and I didn't even have a smartphone at the time it came out. I still had little slide phone with keyboard because I was cheap. But I remember going to San Francisco and just seeing hella people walking around looking at their phones. I was like, damn, Pokemon Go's really on it.
It was really popping off those first like 3 months or so.
Well, deadass, when I first got a smartphone, it's the first thing I downloaded.
App, yeah.
There's still, I think, there's still a ton of people that play that. I see random people driving on the freeway.
I don't see this ever.
I see it at
I'm
work.
on the road all the time.
I guess,
I
yeah.
just randomly will see somebody with it like on their cup holder or on their dash mount, and there's just Pokemon Go sitting on the fucking screen. I'm just like, oh, that's not safe.
Actually, while I was in Vegas, I went out there with a couple of friends, and our other boy D, his wife was busy playing Pokemon Go half the time we were out there, and I was just like, you need to stop. Like, please.
If it takes you out of the socialization situations, like I know when I
No, absolutely not.
It like that's it's not great. Like, because if you're going somewhere to be with people and something like that, even I will try to avoid TikTok as much as possible if I'm like actively trying to do stuff with people.
Are you really a TikToker now?
Just on it, just watching it. Just TikTok viewer, consumer of that shit. In the same way that I used to consume Reddit stuff, but like Reddit has too much just like racist hate bullshit all the time. If you get like 4 comments down at any post, it just turns into weird infighting and hate. And I'm just like, I don't really want to see any of that.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I spend most of my time on Today I Fucked Up, and I got to get way in there before it gets into hate speech.
I was gonna say, if you've like, what I focus on mainly is like a lot of like world news and politics stuff. So that stuff is very divisive immediately.
Super volatile.
And so so I don't, Reddit's not the best place for it. And even their whole like front page of stuff is always stuff, especially in like our Bay Area.
Oh no.
Hate and racism. That's all that place is.
Do you think all like local subreddits are like that, or do you think the Bay Area one is
I
just
think
fucked up?
anyone that is gentrified as hard as like the Bay Area is 100% will be, because it's like literally people just spitting hate at the people that lived here that they priced out. It's like, oh yeah, there's encampments full of people. Some of these people lived in these houses for generations and now they can't afford to. Like, yeah, they don't want to leave the town that they grew up in. Sorry. But it's them talking shit and like, oh yeah, they need to get jobs. And it's not constructive.
The NIMBYs are out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hey, while we're on the subject of the Bay, can you guys think of any games that take place here?
Yes, exactly one. Watch Dogs 2.
Okay, see, that's where I was going too.
Yeah.
I didn't even play Watch Dogs 2. I just remember when it was coming out, I was like, oh, cool.
You can go to Oakland in that game. I don't think you can go to Oakland in very many games.
There's got to be a Tony Hawk game where you can go to San Francisco or something, or some skating game that you could. I swear there's like a PS2 graphics game that you can go to San Francisco.
Might have been like Underground 2. Because I don't remember going to the Bay in Underground 1, and I played Underground 1.
I just feel like there was cable cars and like Lombard. That's all that mattered. But like,
oh, Sonic Adventure 2.
Is that what it is? That might be what it is. So Sega.
Oh yeah.
You saw the hedgehog like skating down the street, and you were like, "Oh, this reminds me of real life."
Pat, please. He was rolling around at the speed of sound.
True. Got places to go.
Damn.
Follow his rainbow.
I just remembered Driver 3 takes place in San Francisco, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. Have you played Driver 3 by any chance?
I probably on a
I've rented
PlayStation
it, like,
Underground
once.
demo disc.
Yeah. It's a really fucking weird game, actually.
The Driver series in general was just kind of weird.
The plot is very bizarre. There's some like...
The fact that there is a plot is bizarre.
You like... I think his like mind gets like put in the car or something at some point. I don't know. It's fucking weird. hit us up if you know the plot of Driver 3. I really
No, seriously, leave that shit in the comments because I gotta know.
I would love a synopsis if you know what we're talking about.
There was a racing game that it was called The Crew. It was supposed to be this thing where you could race across the entire United States.
That's cool.
And technically you could. It only took you about probably like an hour to drive from New York to Oakland.
Nice.
But one thing I distinctly remember about it was spawning myself in SF and then taking 5 minutes to drive out of SF and getting to the dynos. And I was like, yo, the dynos, that's pretty lit. Mind you, they compressed all of the United States into this really, it was a large map for a racing game, for like a quote unquote open world racing game. But still, it was kind of cool to just see, you know, where we live, where we grew up, and see that represented. As much as people talk about the SF Bay Area, I don't feel like there's a heavy representation on it in video games, at least that I can think of.
You said dinos, and me and my partner always feel like the dinos looks like a great level for a Mario Kart map or something like that.
I'm sorry, I got to interject real quick. Did you say partner?
Yeah, that's what I call my partner.
All right, Mark Wahlberg, chill out.
This is what you missed last week.
That's true, man. I'm still mad I missed last week, but no, seriously, the dinos would be such a cool spot for. In a way, just because of all the shipping containers and everything, it reminds me of back in the Modern Warfare days, the original Call of Duty 4 days. I want to say the map was called Shipment, but it was this tiny ass map, right? It was literally a little square. You sprint for 2 seconds and you're already on top of the enemy team. And it's just like shipping containers and stuff. So let's expand that and make it the dinos. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to do like a paintball game at the dinos or something. Not that would ever happen, because like, come on, logistically, there's no way. But the idea is cool.
If they let us go on the boats, that would be cool.
Yo, don't joke. I'm super down.
Fucking shipping.
Until it turns into a PvP zone.
Yeah, damn.
Bro, it's already a PvP zone.
It
already
is.
You guys can all just come do airsoft with me in some fucking old horse track in Petaluma.
That's so far.
It really is. It's Petaluma, Antioch, or Santa Clara. They're all very far.
I'd rather go to Santa Clara.
Yeah,
because then we can hit San Jose on the way back and go get like iguanas or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My thing for the next time is to go. Like next time I go down to there, the timing of it is so bad. It's like the last time I went to do airsoft, I went down there and then we were supposed to go get sandwiches at this spot that I know on the peninsula that just makes like the best sandwiches that I've had in like a really long time.
It's Little Lucas.
Little Lucas.
My coworker was telling me about that place the other day, and I was like,
best.
I think this is the place you were talking about.
Yeah, it's because it's like $15, and the sandwich is like this big. It's 2 meals guaranteed, and they have everything from like a basic, just like Italian original, which is just like cold cuts, and whatever their special list of ingredients is, up to like tri-tip and smoked chicken. It's that place is great. Like solid 10 out of 10 would recommend to anybody.
And it's just like a little like
so there's 2 of them,
2 locations.
So one of them I think is the original, and it's Little Luca, and it is in Burlingame.
Ugh.
Right. It's so far. It's like it's somewhere I would never go. Huh?
It's at the airport.
It's real close.
Yeah.
It's real close. But it is literally what looks like an old 1-bedroom house that they just ripped the insides out and put like a bar for making sandwiches, and then a cash register, and then there's like a back room. Mm-hmm. That's like it. That's all there is. And it just straight up looks like somebody's old house. And they just have loaves of fucking bread that they were baked that day or something.
Hell yeah.
And the thing is, when they run out of bread, they close.
Oh, okay, I see. So they're really, everything's like fresh and from scratch. They're baking all their bread.
I think so, or it's getting sent there from like a bakery that they have locally, but it's like every day it's gone through. Their bread is fresh that day. It's like, I get Dutch Crunch because Dutch Crunch is the shit.
Hell yeah, bro.
Their Dutch Crunch is some of the best that I've had, though.
Ooh, I might have to go just for that.
It's like it doesn't destroy the roof of your mouth. Dutch Crunch.
I kind of like that when it tears their mouth.
Oh man, that's like that's like the Captain Crunch effect. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna do a live cast from Lil Lucas?
I mean, we'll go and we can review it. I don't know if live audio on it's on like off like El Camino Real or something. It's just like a busy ass 4 or 5 lane intersection.
We'll just pick up a Tascam real quick. No external mic. Our audio is going to sound like shit. It'll be great.
Just lots of wind noises and
wind
cars
noises
passing.
and chewing.
Yeah.
Just a lot of.
That was the whole episode.
But like, so there's that one, and then there's one in South San Francisco.
Okay.
And the one in that's the one in South San Francisco, and the one in Burlingame is at a little shopping center. I can't. Yeah, the one in Burlingame is at a shopping center. The one in South San Francisco is the little hut.
And that's the original.
That's the original one, I think. The other one is in like, it has its own storefront. But the last time I went there, I was driving by and it was like sold out of bread. I almost cried. I was like, I waited all week. I was there for the sandwich.
Yeah.
Because I was taking my buddies that I do airsoft with. I was like, we're gonna go get these fucking bomb ass sandwiches after we do airsoft. So we're all like tired as shit.
You were hyping it up.
And then I was like, I'm so sorry. The sign says they're closed because they're out of bread. I didn't know that would happen. And it was like, because it was like they closed at like 3 or 4 and it was like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But they just ran out
Thought you
early.
had time.
Yeah. But highly recommend going any day, like a weekday. It's just super easy to get in there. But there was always a line anytime I had gone. But it's worth it. It's like well worth it. Do you have any places, Pat, that you can recommend? Food places?
Off top, I'm struggling. We've plugged fucking Senior Seasig several times.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know. I don't even know where I would go to get like a really good sandwich. I would like to have a more clear idea of that in my mind.
Yeah.
And ideally one that's not
Hella
in San
far.
Francisco.
Yeah, no, I have never had an idea of one until like I had that and I was like, you know what? This is like great.
So Ike's is not cutting it.
Whoa, okay. I had Ike's the other day and it's perfectly fine.
Ike's
It's
is
good.
super.
I don't dislike it.
Ike's is super. It's like super dependent on which sandwich you get because I've had like 2 sandwiches from there that are good, and then I've had one sandwich that was just shit that I thought could have sworn was a good sandwich, but just like was not good.
Dude, it's really simple. You get the Madison Bumgarner, no tomatoes, call it a day.
Is that chicken?
Steak.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think I usually get like a chicken one, and then I tried some steak, some like barbecue something they had. And I did not like it, but the sandwich at Luca way better, and I feel like I don't feel as price gouged when I go there because I know it's 2 meals guaranteed. I'm not.
You can't eat the whole thing. In one
fuck
sitting.
no. I will feel terrible. And then it's like later, it's a little soggy, but it's still so good.
I know we were talking about places that aren't hella far.
Yeah.
But our other D, the Lil Goth,
Yeah.
when we went back to his turf in Chicago.
Did you go to Akuma's?
You mean Kuma's Corner?
Kuma's Corner?
the-
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's definitely something we got to bring up, but that's burgers. That's not
Boigus.
it's not sandwiches. But
gotcha.
honestly, swear to God, probably the best burger I've ever had.
100%. I'm right there with you. That
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
like a once.
Oh, you've been to Kuma's too?
I went there for work to Chicago one time, and I happened that was the last place we ate at. Me and my like 4 coworkers, we were like, "Fuck, we should have gone here first. We could have been here every night." The beer was like solid price, the food was solid price, and it was delicious.
Okay.
It was
So it's like a known spot.
when I
thought it was just
I was referencing it to Hoodie one day, and D his friend D was here.
Yeah, the Lil Goth.
And he was like, "Oh, Kuma's Corner, that place is fucking." I was like, "Oh shit, what?" Like, yeah, that place is like great. It was just random.
I
as hell.
thought it was maybe just like if you know about this, if you're into metal, but it's like a people.
Oh yeah, going in there, it is for show like metalhead as fuck. All the
Yeah.
things are like music references.
Throw up your horns.
Burgers are named after bands.
Yeah.
But it's like people just know this is a good place
The
to eat.
food was good,
Metal
yeah.
or not.
Yeah. I mean, I know it because we were like, it was at a shopping mall that was dead as fuck. And there was that place to eat. And we were like, yeah, let's go try it. And it just happened to be the best thing we had while we were out there.
Since you brought up the metal thing, the burger I had when I went was called the Obituary.
I was going to ask, do you remember the name of your
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, obituary? Do you remember the name of
It was that was like 5 years ago. I can't remember.
I feel like
You got-
DZ had the Gojira.
the Gojira, maybe the Slayer extra sauce?
Probably.
Extra
It was
slay.
great though. Like I still remember that place. Like that was that was crazy.
There's a little Italian deli literally around the corner from the Lil Goth's parents' house.
Okay.
And they do just the best hot beef sandwich, which I had no idea what it was. He took me, he's like, yeah, we're going to go get hot beef sandwiches. I'm like, what is a hot beef
sounds
sandwich?
Chicago as fuck.
Yeah.
It is Chicago as fuck.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's literally hot beef on a sandwich.
Yep.
And I was like, no, there's got to be a catch. Nope, that's exactly what it was. And it was fucking delicious.
It's a Philly cheesesteak, but when you're in Chicago, you don't call it that, or else someone will beat you up.
No cheese.
Oh, okay, there you
But it does have peppers.
Yeah,
and
there we
shit.
go. Outside of food stuff, though, in the like hidden gems, I want to say, like that place, the Little Luca, I maybe even brought it up on the podcast before that. Like, I told my coworker and brought him. He's from Pennsylvania. And he was like, "That's like the best sandwich I've ever had." So now I'm just like, anytime I bring somebody from out of town, that's definitely the place I'm going to take them. Maybe Koja Kitchen, just because it's like it's super local. It's okay.
It's definitely a Bay thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that previously, and had a work thing and found that out. But like outside of that, I know back in the day we used to hang out at a Grizzly Peak, and I realized recently that that's not like heavily known, and I think it's just dead completely now. It's just like debunked as a place to hang out because they got rid of all the parking. The log's still there, and I think you can hike up to it, but I don't think that there's anything to like, I don't know, you can't sit up there and smoke weed anymore without a cop rolling by or something and getting mad.
See, I'm glad you guys told me this when you did, because I had planned on going up to Grizzly Peak soon. Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah. It was such a nice place back in the day. Just like that view.
Great view.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Especially, we went up there several times when it was super foggy.
Yeah.
And that had its own enjoyment too. Just, it was kind of cool, but
Driving around, turn the headlights off. Scared as hell.
not exactly what I was digging into, but we were young and dumb and stupid at one point. Actually, it's funny that you bring that up because, well, this wasn't about the foggy thing, but one of my fondest Grizzly Peak memories was you, A1, myself. We went to Fruitvale. I think I don't remember if we went to Sinaloa or Guadalajara, but we went to one of the two, got burritos. We were loaded as shit and drove up to Grizzly Peak, and that was like the best burrito I've ever eaten. Given I was high, but
I was say by loaded, you mean high on marijuana.
very, very high. Cartoon hands high.
I think one of my least favorite memories is that dude that was stuck in the ditch. Remember his car was all like...
Are you talking about when we were with the wizard?
No,
Wait, no.
me
That
and
was
you.
that was
That
you
was
and
the
me.
stupidest shit.
Was that? Oh, that also happened to you guys
It was the
separately.
dumbest-
I
We
know
did
which
not
one
need
you're
to do
talking
that.
about
That was like
now.
it was like the random dude by himself, and he was just like had pulled into the ditch.
Yeah,
And that's
but
also some stupid shit. You could have got hit in the head.
Slocked,
Yeah,
as
well, I
we
didn't
say.
though. I could have, but I didn't.
well, okay, no. So A1 and I went up there with the wizard and his cousin one time. We were up at Grizzly Peak. We're coming back down, and there's a dude. You know that turn, like that kind of like sharp, almost U-turn. He's in the ditch, but like his back wheels are off the ground. And the wizard, bless his heart, it's like, oh, we should try to help that guy. Me and A1 are like, dude, there's nothing we can do for him. He needs a tow truck.
Yeah.
The best thing we can do is leave and call a tow truck. No, he pulls over. And if you'll remember, there used to be a sign that was posted right before that turn. When he pulled off, they had cut the sign down, but there was still probably a little piece of metal. Pops his tire. So now we're stuck out there.
Jesus.
And then can I
Christ.
add that it is
Mid
2
I
a.m.?
was gonna say, yeah, it had to be at least midnight.
3 a.m.
When else were we over
It is
there?
something a.m.
Yeah.
Both of us, or maybe I just had to go to work the next day.
I didn't.
Okay, yeah, it just was some bullshit. I was kind of mad because I was like, feel like I should call an Uber, but we didn't. Just to find out that we had to call an Uber.
Yeah. We end up getting the spare tire on the wizard's car. But the spare tire's probably been in there for 20 something years, never touched. So the fucking spare tire's flat. And we roll back down Grizzly Peak on the freeway, get off at the first exit. And we ended up at that Safeway, kind of like downtown Oakland. Not too far from like the Chapel of the Chimes. And,
Yeah.
What's that tiki place?
Kona Club.
Kona Club. Not too far from there.
Yeah.
And we end up calling an Uber back to A1's place anyway. And he drove me home. And I think by the time I got back here, the sun was rising.
Sounds about right.
No.
I think when the dude got stuck in the ditch the time that I was there, we were able to like sit on the back of his car and bounce enough to get his car to just move out of the ditch.
Yeah, we got him out.
we
I
were
remember
gone.
that.
Yeah, but that sounds, because I remember hearing about that the first time, just like, fuck, like, where were you guys all night? Just like, fucked, stuck on Grizzly Peak. Just like,
Say that.
yeah.
See, the worst part is we weren't even stuck on Grizzly Peak. We were stuck at the part that has no view.
Yeah.
Like, at least if we were stuck up at the log, we're stuck up at the log. All right, whatever. Shit.
That's pretty funny that it happened to both of you guys.
Yeah, that's kind of right.
It's
I was there both times.
Was it the
I think
same?
He was there both times.
Yeah,
No,
Different spots on the
different spots.
road.
but close.
And then, fun fact,
really.
these
Okay,
jackasses
well-
really thought we were going to fucking help them, like, literally physically push the car out of the ditch and risk getting the shit, having the shit fall on us over the
Yeah.
cliff or whatever. It was kind of...
Look, we'll put your car
dangling
over the
over.
cliff, but I'm not.
Let me paint a picture for all the listeners real quick. When I say that shit was stuck in the ditch and the rear wheels are off the ground, we're talking like it's probably at like a 60 to 70 degree angle from the ground. There is no amount of manpower.
He got in a bad ditch, huh?
The car was damn near vertical to the ground, DZ.
yeah.
There was nothing we could do.
Yeah. No.
I love the wizard and I appreciate his heart for helping people, but that was
don't.
just like I'm trying to be positive about this, A1, please.
That is how you end up on the Lifetime channel.
We almost ended up on the 48 Hours channel.
That too.
So I could solve that one really quick. A car rolled over us down a hill, and then we died.
Not yet.
Welcome back to 1,000 Ways to Die in a Dumbass Way, Grizzly Peak Edition. Anyway, yeah, you should all be lucky that you're alive.
Probably.
After all those different times. Well, Pat,
Yeah,
I think you were with us the first
I don't
time.
think so.
Are you sure?
I don't remember.
It was there was 5 of us in your car, DZ. That was you, A1, me, Chico, and it wasn't Pat?
Maybe I was there. If it did happen, we got out of there pretty fast.
When we were there, I just remember like we were able to get. It was like, oh, we need to push it. And I was like, somebody jump out and just jump on this dude's car real quick, and it was able to just like bounce, and then it like popped up or whatever, and then we were like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. And we might have been going to Grizzly Peak when that happened.
No, we were coming back
we
down.
were coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Grizzly Peak. If you haven't been up there, take a drive. You know, can't park up there, but it's still a nice view. And also, Stinson Beach is a really good one if you're a Bay local.
Oh, I think part of the reason Grizzly Peak might have gotten the logs was because I think I did hear that it was getting PvP up there too, like before the logs.
People getting robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think that hella just brought me back. I remember being mad about the logs and thinking, oh, it's the stupid rich people in the pandemic. But I think I did remember that they were fucking up PvP.
I would say it might be a little bit of both, but the reason that the logs ended up getting it because of the rich people making the stink, but people were getting robbed really bad up there too.
Yeah.
Cause that cause I'm just like, would Oakland care enough to not, well, it's Berkeley too. Berkeley's in that. So they have a little bit more ability than just Oakland, I guess, on that. Cause I remember hearing about that too, though, that like, oh yeah, you're going up to Grizzly Peak, your car is going to get stolen. Almost 100%. Like if you have a nice car, you're not going to be going home with it.
I think that was actually one of the stories I remember hearing. And I was just like, that is fucking terrible.
Yep.
Like a lot of people don't even get reception up there.
Yeah, no, because I was thinking of the times
true.
we've been up there and there's just like random people have pulled up on us, or like we're kicking it up there and then just like some random group of people showed up out of nowhere and like they weren't fucking with us or anything, but it's just like you could so easily just be taken by surprise and then have nowhere to go because there's literally nowhere to go.
That's why we mob deep.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah. Got to hope for 20
Strike
people.
the numbers.
Yeah.
I
20
mean,
or more.
yeah, DZ, we got to go back to your brother, 20 people.
Yeah, I got to get to the 20 people one day.
That's all he's ever wanted.
We've still never gotten to the 20.
I think
feel like we've gotten real close.
We were just there was something we were talking, that Pokemon thing might have been the closest we ever got to 20 people.
We got to bring it back.
Yeah.
And Bart's getting worse. So I've heard.
Bart's been getting worse.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, I just keep seeing people post on Reddit. My mom said she read a post on Nextdoor. People just lighting up pipes on Bart.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I don't expect that to happen, but without any, like, I don't know, the Muni stations, I feel like are a little the like underground ones seem in a better state of like some supervision, or like you don't. I felt less like I would be robbed in the Muni floor at the San Francisco transit station than on the BART floor. Like on the BART floor, the vibe is just generally like less safe.
I mean, I feel you on that. And as far as BART in SF goes, I just remember it's been a long time since I've taken BART. I just remember the last time I BARTed into the city, I got off at Civic Center, and when you go up the stairs, there's like these little crevices next to the stairs, and I just looked because I was like, why not? Needles and shit, just all up in there.
It's it might as well. Yeah.
I just, I don't know what I expect. I don't know what anyone really expects any of us to say about it, besides the fact that the last time I took BART into the city, I think we were probably going to the Foundry, rest in peace, or at least rest in peace for when it was cool. But I hadn't even gotten that far off BART before some dude was smoking a crack in an alley. The cops are right there just sitting at their car. They know it's happening. They're clearly watching dude. They're doing nothing about it.
Yeah,
like,
it's like that. Yeah, that shit sucks. But like it being in public sucks a little bit, like sucks less to me than it being on the transit. If somebody's smoking crack on the fucking BART or bus,
you're stuck with
I'm not about that. But if it's in the open air,
you can at least walk away.
They're doing it at their house. Their house just happens to be the sidewalk, kind of.
Okay, but so, how about when
I don't want to inhale it, and I've definitely like walked past somebody like exhaling crack smoke before. Yeah. And I like, you hold your breath. It's not something I would ever want to have to do again, or I don't think anybody should be subjected to it. There should be something, safe use sites. I don't fucking know, something, but that's not the way it is now. That's not going to be, it's not the best.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but think about, again, going back to Civic Center, because that's usually where I'd get off BART, the amount of people just laying in there, like, you'd get, like, you have homeless people in there, sure, but you'd also just have people just strung out, like just passed the fuck out on the walls, because that's where they're shooting up. That's where they're smoking, whatever it is, Yeah. Like, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people who don't live here have a different view of San Francisco than people who live in the Bay. And I think that's how San Francisco wants to be presented, but that place is honestly a shithole.
It's a shithole, but it's still the most expensive place to live, and people still want to live there.
See, it's just a huge contradiction. The place sucks, but it's more expensive to live there than almost anywhere else in the Bay.
Because you might be walking around some human feces every once in a while, but the rest of it in general, the nature, the views, the smell, the weather, and all that, you can't get that shit in most other places in the U.S.
I mean, I feel you, but when my dad was out visiting and we were going to see AEW at the Cow Palace, just driving through that end of San Francisco. And
100%.
My dad was telling me stories, because back when he lived out here, we were on Geneva Avenue, because that's pretty much where the Cow Palace is. Mm-hmm. And there used to be these apartments up there, Geneva Towers. He used to do security out there. And he's like, yeah, pretty much every night somebody would shoot at us.
Gotcha.
Jesus.
And SFPD would not go on the property there. They would pull up outside the gates, and if they had someone that needed to be arrested, the security had to walk them out to the cops. So, I mean, nothing, like, things have changed, but that hasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, San Francisco has like one of the lowest violent crime rates, apparently. It's like gone down so much, but there's property crime. There's tons of fucking property crime, but that's like a bit of a trade-off. Like, the violent crime is down. That's a good thing. Less people are getting injured.
I mean, the violent
people's shit is still getting taken.
That's true. Okay, look, violent crime being down, that's probably true. And I'm usually not one to delve into this kind of stuff, but how many people, like Asian American, Pacific Islander, etc., how many of people like me are getting fucked up out there?
Yeah. Hate crimes right now in the Bay Area are fucking rampant. I completely understand it. It's like, I don't think the numbers touch anything like that in the South. The like hate crimes that are going on over there, but it is
there's not enough people to hate crime in the South.
No,
they find a way. They absolutely find a way.
But I'm talking about
what I mean.
Yeah, like it is crazy, and it is really like, it's a really fucked up thing to think about. And like, because I spent a lot of my youth in Chinatown with my grandfather, because that's the only place he shopped. So I know that like, that's a place where I feel safe. It's a place where I've always felt safe. Like in anywhere in downtown Oakland, Chinatown is like the safest place that I ever thought of. But knowing nowadays people are just fucking beating the shit out of like old people because because they're defenseless and people got problems or whatever the fuck, and all this like there's like weird rhetoric and hate going on that's making people feel some type of way, and racism and that nationalism shit because they're scared of Asian people or something. It's all super fucked up to like have that shit constantly happen. And like even now where I live is like pretty like the neighborhood I live in is predominantly Asian, and so like I get worried because there's also like there's a lot of crime that goes on blocks away from my house, and I'm just like, this is like the right culmination for that. It's like, this is a neighborhood where people could be targeted. And that's
pretty much the perfect storm.
Yeah. No, but like, I know we went from BART to talking about.
It's supposed to be about public transportation.
Yeah, my bad.
We can swing it back around, but like on that and like the Muni stuff and BART. Muni is clearly like a better service than BART, and it covers more area because it's train and bus, and it's like so you encompass both into one. Instead, we have like BART and AC Transit and Sam Trans, and the Concord is like West Cat or something like that. Everybody has their own little bus transit system. It would be better if we all had like a more unified Bay Area transit system. Like the BART is the Bay Area Rapid Transit. But like, you guys know that the Muni system, like Muni's public transit system, is like one of the best in the US because of how connected it is. Like it serves so much of the city and it runs so much more consistently. It's partially because they're all union, unlike I think some of the other ones, or like how they splinter them off.
I mean, that tracks, because when I lived in Dallas, we had the DART, Dallas Area Rapid Transit.
Was it bad?
Not really, but just compared to how we are in the Bay Area, the amount of stops they have and just where you could get off depending on what your destination was, it's not nearly as good as it is here.
Yeah.
Also, I felt pretty similarly being on DART as I did to BART, as in I won't take out my phone.
Yeah.
Type thing.
There's moments, because there's those things of like, that there's instances where people will just run by and take your phone as the doors close.
I've watched it happen several times on BART.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's not. Yeah, I know when I was in Houston, I didn't really see many bus stops or buses or public transit.
I feel like Dallas and Austin are a lot more ahead of the game in terms of like public transit.
Houston is controlled by like big oil. They're just a car town. They are not meant for public transit.
Everyone in Houston either has to drive a car or they're like those two big ass guys on the motorcycles that drive right next to each other.
Yeah,
Pat, please.
That's how you.
Everyone in Houston is driving like a
lifted
F-250,
truck.
Ram 2500.
You literally need a car to get across the street in Houston, and it was the most absurd shit ever. It was like, okay, here, take this 3-minute lift to get across the street, or walk for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's awful.
I was like, what the 45 minutes? What the fuck? I was like, oh, there's got to be a way. And it's like, nope, it's 5 lanes of freeway or 5 lanes of road, followed by like 5 lanes of freeway, 5 lanes of freeway, and another 5 lanes of road, 2 walls on either side, and then like barbed wire across the top. It's like, okay, no, can't even go underneath. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
See, Dallas was not like that.
Yeah.
Because you have all the satellite cities, which DART also hit with probably like 1 or 2 stops in each of them that would take you to the Dallas Metroplex, Dallas proper. And that was one of my first experiences, especially, living away from the Bay, of being in a kind of larger metropolitan city that is not San Francisco.
Yeah.
One of the things I distinctly remember was just, it felt like San Francisco, but way cleaner. You didn't see the same kind of shit that you see here.
Yeah.
I 100% did not see anybody smoking crack in the streets. I mean, it had its problems. It absolutely had its problems. You know, I'm not trying to say, oh, we should all go to Texas. No.
They wouldn't want that.
All
There's
the streamers did that already.
There's 100% zero chance that I will go back.
Yeah. I get it.
Damn.
I've been to 2 towns in Texas. I went to Austin and I went to Houston. I went to Austin at the time when they were building their freeways.
Yeah.
Like, there was still like everything was under construction. So I was not renting a car. They had some weird thing with Lyft where you couldn't rent a Lyft or an Uber. You had to take some Facebook group transit where you sent a message to this Facebook group and somebody would be like, okay, yeah, I'll come pick you up. $20 good? And you'd be like, yeah, $20 sounds good. And they would come pick you up at a specific, it was so fucking sketchy. I was like, no.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I was like, I'm going to walk to this shopping mall if it takes me 30 minutes, I guess. No sidewalks, nothing. I was like, you know what? This town is fucking horse shit. But I was like, but they're building stuff. So it's
Maybe it'll be better.
Yeah.
In the future. Maybe.
You guys talked about malls last week, right?
we did.
Okay, wait. Not a Bay Area mall at all, but I got to get in on this. Dallas, the Galleria, that has got to be the most bougie mall I've ever been to. It's 4 stories, glass ceiling.
Jesus.
Like, there's an ice skating rink on the bottom floor next to the food court. I was like, Lord have mercy. I've never seen anything like this.
Have you been to the San Jose Westfield?
Yeah, I've been there several times. It's not even
like 3 stories, right?
okay.
There's not
That-
an ice skating rink.
Not even
Not as big.
close.
Gotcha.
No, it's not about as big. It's just the vibe, man. The Galleria
Have
is
you
where the
been
bougie people go.
I think it might be Westfield also in like San Diego.
Yes.
Okay, that's like a big ass outdoor bougie mall.
Westfield in San Diego is nice.
I'm just trying to find a comparison because that's just the ones I've been to.
I don't think I went to. I think I've only ever been there once because you know when I lived in San Diego, I was like what 5, 6, 7, 8,
okay.
10.
Gotcha.
Like I spent a lot of time in San Diego, but the thing was, my family lived in Imperial Beach, which is kind of far out from San Diego proper.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
What I will say though, for anybody looking to travel, if you do go down there, going to Imperial Beach, like the beach, crazy, awesome, nice, you know, and you'll get a lot more out of it, I feel like, than going to one of the more quote unquote popular beaches because everybody goes there.
Yeah,
I don't think everybody goes to Imperial Beach. Plus, there's great food all around there. I have really fond memories of that place. I went back maybe 6 or 7 years ago with our lovely editor Yams. We went to go catch a Padres game, and I told him, hey, since we're staying in Chula Vista, we got to drive down to Imperial Beach because I want to go see my childhood house. Somebody else is living there now, but we rolled by, and the place hasn't changed. We went
Knock
to
on
the
the
beach.
door. I lived here as a kid. I just want to get my bag of cat hearts out of the wall.
Well, now that we've gone there,
Just got to let somebody know that their house is haunted without, doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we did. I would say that Imperial Beach is kind of like my hidden gem type thing. I know we talked about Grizzly Peak. I think I briefly brought up Stinson, but you guys have anything else you can think of around here?
What's the city like? So is Imperial Beach like the Imperial Valley? Like that's that area? Like is it near Julian?
I'm going to be honest, dude. I lived there when I was so young that I don't know.
Gotcha.
One thing I can tell you is where my house was, or well, it was my grandparents' house, but where they lived, if you walked like 2 blocks back, there's an empty field and you could see the U.S.-Mexico border from there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that gives you an idea.
For sure.
And it was funny too, because there used to be helicopters flying around all the time when I was a kid, and I didn't think anything of it. I go back as an adult, I see it all happening, and then suddenly, you have more perspective on the world, and you realize, I get it now.
Yeah.
Down, 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 down.
It gets me so down, 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 down. Damn, that's all right.
You said helicopters.
I did say helicopters.
I'm actually going to San Diego this weekend.
You're going to the wedding, right?
No, just for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just taking a trip to San Diego. So maybe I'll swing by. See what the hype is
What
about.
part of San Diego are you going to, or who lives down there, or
I
family?
don't know
or?
the exact part. It's a friend's family.
Oh, okay,
that
for
we're
sure.
gonna go stay with.
For sure.
Yeah.
Pat is going to actual San Diego.
I think we're going to. I don't think we're gonna. I don't know exactly the town we're going to.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's like San Diego, or just a neighboring
Yeah, one of
town?
the
I
little-
don't know that area at all, really.
If you are going to San Diego, there is a Yams and I were down there. It's either the Gaslight District or the Gas Lamp District.
Yeah,
I don't
that
remember
sounds
which
familiar.
of the two.
Supposed to be like the nightlife area.
Yes, go there.
Okay. I'm sure that's on our list.
I've been there like 2 or 3 times, and when I get down there, I know the fucking city. Like I can remember all the things. The moment I leave there, I can't remember what it looks like at
you
all.
couldn't describe it at all. But
No.
were you to appear there right now, you'd be like, oh,
yeah,
I can figure this out.
Yeah. Because like when we went
interesting.
down there, we drove like all around San Diego, like 2 or 3 different times because we just had a bunch of shit to do.
Filled out your mental map.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Start kind of learning the streets and where to go.
Yeah, I just want to go to the beach and eat a burrito, and that's kind of it. Maybe go to the zoo.
You can absolutely. Dude, the San Diego Zoo. I love the San Diego Zoo. With all due respect, way better than the Oakland Zoo.
That wouldn't be too hard, but I like the Oakland Zoo.
Actually,
no shade, even though that was only shade.
Damn.
I have a real fun story about the Oakland Zoo. So back in the day when we were all in a band, I think it was the day I auditioned to be our bass player. Pat, unfortunately, you were not there, but we did the audition. DZ picked me up in Berkeley, brought me to A1's place. We played a couple of songs. A1's like, cool, great, you're in. We're playing DNA Lounge in like 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, cool. And then
Real trial by fire.
I think we went to Five Guys. No, this was after. We went to the Oakland Zoo because they were doing like the lights or whatever, because this was around Christmas time. And I remember we were leaving and you guys are like, man, that sucked. Let's go see if we could get our money back.
Wow, that's hilarious.
No, it was so bad. Like
They like hung Christmas lights up or something around the zoo or something.
Did you want non-denominational lights?
No, like just like Home Depot Christmas lights or something.
Okay, it just looks
like
cheap.
you know the lights that I have strung up around my room that occasionally I plug in? It was about that good.
Okay, that's not great.
Yeah, not like
Ouch, hey, I'm proud of my lights.
For the zoo.
Oh, yeah,
your
for
room
the
is
zoo.
fine.
he's saying that the zebras need more than just the RGB. All right.
I don't even think the zebras had the RGB. They had like one little like light up flamingo thing.
Yeah. See, it was like lawn props. It was something. It was real lame. That was
What's worse is like it was basically just the lights. The zoo itself was basically non-existent.
Right,
You
or
couldn't
something.
like go see
It was
the
nighttime,
exhibits.
right?
The animals are
It was dusk.
yeah.
because I feel like just walking around the zoo at night could be fun, lights or no lights. But if most of it was closed,
I would 100% agree if you were going to like the San Diego Zoo or even the Jacksonville Zoo, because the Jacksonville Zoo is really cool too. But
Florida,
yeah,
yeah,
my grandma lives out there, so
Gotcha.
I used to go out there every summer. And Florida summer weather terrible.
oh
Jeez,
god, yes.
yeah, that doesn't sound good.
All pass.
It was mostly hurricane weather the whole time. Grandma, if you're listening, reach out.
Yeah, tell us any fun zoo memories you have of you and your grandson.
I know the one she would reference because it's the one I would reference. One time we're sitting there at the rhino enclosure and we see this rhino kind of like shake its rear and then it just sprays piss.
Oh,
like
Ew.
like it's like a fire hose, dude. I was like, whoa.
There was one time I've seen the hippo or rhino and it was shitting, but it's like fanning with its tail the shit off.
It's like
And so it's just flying shit everywhere. Yeah.
I don't even think the Oakland Zoo has rhinos.
Probably. I haven't been there in a while. I just remember the last time I went there, I was like, oh, this is like the animal shelter. Like, I swear you're going to turn around and there's going to be a cage of chihuahuas or something in one of these corners or something like that.
Are they up for adoption though?
Not to people, just people in other states probably.
Oh, hey, since we're on the subject of lights and stuff, my ex and I at one point went to, it's called like, it was the Sensorio Field of Lights. I think it's down in Paso Robles. So
Okay.
it's a little ways,
Yep.
but super cool. It's just this field and everything is lit up. And I mean, it's what the Oakland Zoo light show I think we thought was going to be.
Yeah.
But one, it was cheaper than the zoo, minus the fact that you had got to drive to Paso Robles. And it, just so cool. Would highly recommend it if any of you guys ever find yourself out that way. It usually happens towards, I think, like the last third of the year. So like September, December range. But yeah, that was super cool. They have food trucks and stuff. I would definitely recommend. Also to the listeners, I almost said viewers, but you can't see us. So, haha.
On that same thing, just like of the lights thing, when we went to Vancouver, we went to some suspension bridges up there, and it happened to be on one of the days where they do a light show, and it's like they have lights hung up through these suspension bridges, and like there's like through all these trees and plants, but it was also specifically like their Valentine's Day event thing. It was just really, really nice, like the amount of like effort and like the level of abstract that it was. There was just like so much shit going on throughout that whole place. Like very solid. Felt like the money was worth it and didn't feel like I was getting overcharged. Plus it's in Canada, so everything's like a 30% discount anyways.
So look, I'm not trying to derail this entirely, but
please do.
Said Vancouver Valentine's Day. Are you telling me that I'm now writing the sequel to Vancouver, Valentine's Day in Vancouver?
Apparently.
Just more scathing than the last time?
Yeah. You just have to do it with a different band this time.
The fuck I do? They're right here.
We are ready. We're here and ready to go. So
I can move the drum set back in the garage right now.
Damn.
I mean, we were talking about how things have changed and stuff. I had to make a second spot in my garage so that I can park two cars in there
I
now.
saw that and I walked in and I was like,
there's so much room.
No, what was that? That was an Eclipse?
Eclipse.
Oh, the little Goth's car, yeah.
I walked in and I was like, Hoodie would have an Eclipse in his garage.
Not that Eclipse. Absolutely not. I hate that Eclipse.
Because the color?
No, because the body shape.
Oh,
the like 1999 Eclipse.
Is that the boxy one or something?
You watched Fast and the Furious, right? The first one?
I have not seen any of them. Very added.
You are missing out. You are so missing out. Listeners.
I've seen Chronicles of Riddick. I've seen enough Vin Diesel.
You are No, that's not the same. A1, since you're pulling that up, can you pull up specifically the one from Fast and the Furious? 99 Eclipse, Fast and the Furious. Let's take a look at this right now. Oh, there it is, right there, the green one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So that is how I think an Eclipse should look.
This one.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
Okay.
Exactly like that.
Like a track car.
Well, not just a track car, but that is.
No, I mean like the track car version of the Eclipse, like the
Sure.
the kit that it's got on, the body kit that it's on is like.
A1, can you do me a favor and pull up the 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse? You don't need to include Fast and the Furious in that because they definitely didn't use it in the movies.
Why not? Why wouldn't they?
This is why. This is why. Look at it. It looks like a bug.
Yeah.
It's
like a crossover between like a bug and a Z or something.
Everything is wrong with it. You know, they took a car that was so cool. Even like the early 2000s Eclipse, very cool. The little Goth.
That one up there is Little Goth's car right there, isn't it? That same orange, burnt
and
sienna or whatever it is.
He's going to be very upset at me for saying this, especially on air, but that car is an abomination.
Damn.
It is, because what the Eclipse was into what it became, it sucks. That's it. There's no two ways about it. Listeners, if you're listening and you own a 2006 Eclipse, I'm sorry. You can go tell me to fuck myself, but you're wrong.
They know what they did.
See, another one I can talk about right now, the Mustang. You know, they're doing that stupid Mustang like SUV thing right now.
The Mach-E.
Let me put this very simply in the simplest terms I can. So pardon my French. What the fuck is that? Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now?
It's literally just that Tesla was eating their lunch and they had to put something that people wanted to buy. And nobody wanted an EV if it didn't, like, you see the Chevy versions of the EVs, they have like
trash
sound, but it's
still trash,
like an ICE car. Like that's what they think people want.
Trash.
And I think that's what Ford would have made if they didn't make the SUV. Is something that just made a lot of noise.
Man, they were already making the damn EcoBoost Mustang, so like, how far do we have to go with this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Until it's completely silent and it can kill children with no sound whatsoever.
You know something that really bothers me? I was really heavily considering trading in my car to get a GR86, the Toyota
one.
Yeah. I found out that they pipe in sound
Yes.
through the speakers.
Yes.
What the fuck?
They pipe in sound, but also it's because well, at least in the original one, in the FRS or whatever,
Yeah.
they did not use enough sound deadening material between the back, so you could hear the rear tire, or something like that.
Good.
Not the engine as much. And they piped in the sound from the speakers to compensate or some crap.
That's so stupid, man. Especially considering, realistically, I would say over 50% of the people buying those cars are car enthusiasts who are going to rip out the exhaust system, throw in like a cat back or straight pipe it or something so that their exhaust is way louder. Who gives a damn? Also, the FRS, the original 8.6 and the BRZ, their problem was not, the sound. It was the fact that you just, for daily driving purposes, that shit had such a nasty torque dip that you'd be sitting there in like third, fourth, or whatever, and it's just like, wah. You'd be redlining the motherfucker because it's just.
I know some of those words.
I'm so sorry. I'm going on a tangent right now. That just really gets to me because I love the car. It has problems.
Yeah.
And the fact that they fixed some of the problems that I was really on about with the new generation, but then they started piping in sound, just bothers the absolute fuck out of me.
I know two people that have had those. One of them, the transmission ate itself, and the other one blew it up.
Ate itself.
Set it on fire. Within within 12,000 miles.
Look,
way less than that, and he got it lemoned out.
I'm not saying he can't drive. I know he can drive. I've been in the car with him.
Yeah.
But
he probably ate. Yeah, no, I know. That was what I mean. He was really good with however he got them to lemon out his car, but I think that it shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but I also know how he drives.
Yeah,
he absolutely pushed it beyond what he should have been pushing it.
And that was the first stick he had ever driven. I know. Believe me. We both had that conversation with him at some point about like, no, are you sure it wasn't? No, that was the car's. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep. And yet there's still 2013 FRS is rolling around with perfectly good transmissions.
And then there's one that got blown up by my other friend. He set it on fire. It caught fire while he was driving it. Like he blew the engine and it caught fire and it burned to the ground.
Again, I think this comes back to
bad drivers.
There's a guy that I worked with. He had an 8.6, I think, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, my engine, like this, that, and the other," and I'm like, I don't remember exactly what happened. I think he blew a cylinder or something, but he was trying to say, yeah, it was defective. They gave me a defective car or whatever. I'm going to sue them and X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you're going to lose because you've done so much modding to your car. They know exactly what you're doing with it. And they're going to tell you, yeah, you just weren't prepared to drive what you did to your car.
Mm-hmm. And the moment you mod your car, there's no warranty.
Exactly.
Gonna cover it.
But guess what happened?
Yeah.
Tried to sue Toyota. Guess what happened? He lost a shitload of money on lawyer fees because he didn't win.
Yeah. Got to have that money to back it up.
What didn't help matters was the fact that they already had an accident on the car from him doing some stupid shit.
Gotcha.
It's like, come on, man. You've dug yourself a hole here. Anyway. So move on from the cars.
Oh, because I was going to say the BRZ is definitely going to be the car I get when I'm an old man and I got my sugar babies and we're just driving around.
A1. Get a Supra.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's only 2 seats, but hey,
the
you'll
BRZ
be fine.
He also uses that same boxer engine that the Subarus use, though, right?
Well, the BRZ is a boxer,
yeah.
but the 8.6, the FRS, and the BRZ all use the boxer engine.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was a joint collaboration between Toyota and Subaru.
Yeah. Yeah, and formerly Scion.
Well, Scion was just a branch of Toyota. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toyota killed him.
Yeah. Get rid of the kid cars. But yeah. Have you had to deal with your head gaskets yet? No, it's still been fine.
I treat my car well.
Gotcha.
Hey, when's the last time you rotated your tires?
I got to do that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Don't they just roll? They already rotate when you're driving, though.
But when you guys keep rolling, are there any tracks that you like going around? I wouldn't call them tracks, but like roads around the Bay Area that you guys like to check out?
Niles Canyon.
I think it's called was it Calaveras?
Oh, Calaveras Road. Yeah, baby.
Livermore?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that one is sketchy as shit. But
No, it is.
cool.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when I traded cars with my parents so that I would have the Yaris and they took the Jetta, that thing drives like a go-kart. So one of the first things I did was drive down to the end of Calaveras and just shoot my way back up.
Yeah.
There were a couple moments where I realized I'm not as good of a driver as I thought I was.
No, the first road I took my old Corolla on was Calaveras. I went there and drove like from one end to the other and like almost got run off the road twice by like some big van or some shit like that. But it was just like, this thing handles really well because it's such a small, tiny car, but has no power whatsoever. So it was just like, it was going.
One of my old coworkers, a guy, one of the coolest dudes I know. This dude he's so fucking cool. There is a YouTube video. I would do my best to find it so I could show you guys, but I literally don't know what it's called or anything. He showed it to me one time and it was on Calaveras Road. It's these dudes just going down Calaveras, right? And the audio is complete shit. It's deep fried, but you can kind of like scarcely make out what they're saying. They're like, dude, this guy's crazy. What's going on? And you see this little Nissan Sentra like fly past him on Calaveras and just keep going. That was my homie. And that video earned him the nickname, the Ghost of Calaveras, because he was just flying down Calaveras all the time in a little white Sentra.
Damn. I mean, yeah, once you drive that road enough times, I feel like it would be good. Like, because I know a bunch of people that are like, they know Pinehurst.
Yeah.
And like, so they drive that road all the time. One of them has like the old Corolla, like the initial D Corolla.
Oh, the 8.6?
Yeah, and so he drives that up on Pinehurst.
How much does he want for it?
I don't think he's ever going to sell it. He has the same emotional attachment to it you do, I think.
Where does he live? I'll steal it.
I'll tell you, we could talk about that off the air, I guess. Yeah.
For the record, I'm not going to steal anyone's car.
Without the permission.
Without our help. Podcast heist.
But yeah, like places like Pinehurst in the Oakland Hills, like also that's a pretty dope road. Or Grizzly Peak itself is solid.
But only at night with your headlights off.
With your headlights off in the fog.
Okay, see, every time you bring up the headlights off thing, I do think of Initial D, because there's a race that Takumi does the headlight attack where like he turns the 8.6's headlights off and they like flip down, and the guy's like, where'd he go? And he pulls up like right in his blind, and he flips the headlights back on, and the guy panics, and he drifts around him in the turn.
Damn.
And that's what I think of every time you talk about driving Grizzly Peak with the headlights off.
Man.
Hey, while we're talking about fun games that we played while we were driving, A1, do you want to weigh in on Sauna?
Oh, Lord, that's the poor man's game. Especially now that I still have to get my AC fixed.
Are you serious?
I literally recall it going out 2 or 3 years ago.
In the Outback? Forester?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Have you tried the recharge can, or you actually want to take it to a place?
No, I'm going to take it somewhere. Just because AC sounds like it could be anything. I think it really is just out of Freon or some shit.
So yeah, there's like two things that they could do, and it's like replace your system, or like they can refill it, but there's probably a crack and they'll just put some shit in it to do it. You can also buy that thing, the can from O'Reilly. That's what I did with my Crown Vic, and that shit worked great.
All right, hold on. Before we keep talking about AC, for everybody listening, just to clarify what Sauna is, we used to play this game where we would drive around and blast the heater as high as it would go, roll up the windows and lock them.
On a hot day.
And it was more or less just a test of endurance to see who was going to crack first.
Probably can't do that nowadays in the age of climate change, but
I mean,
times back then.
That was like
forget the age of climate change.
That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago, and we were young then.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're like ancient, but I think we're too old for that shit now.
Absolutely.
We could just
Good
go to an
times,
actual sauna. We have money now.
Actually, there's another game I played with A1 in the car. We went up to the Jelly Belly factory one time with Ham, and we played Jelly Belly Roulette all the way back home. And it was terrible.
That's how you get a permanent milk smell in your car. Somebody throwing up.
Nice.
I just remember A1 was like, hey, I'm locking the windows, but don't you motherfuckers spit out the jelly beans in my car. I'm not playing that shit.
Damn.
I'll drop you off right here.
You gotta eat this shit. If you get the vomit, you're eating the vomit.
The vomit wasn't the worst one. Baby wipes was the worst one.
Used baby wipes? Or is it just,
No, it was just baby wipes. If it was used baby wipes, I would not be playing the game.
this one smells like pig farts. We're gonna call it baby wipes.
No, we started the game before we got to the car. We walked out the Jelly Belly factory. We were in the parking lot and I ate one. First thing I got was baby wipes and I damn near yacked right there. It was just awful.
Shout out to the Jelly Belly factory. The fact that they're still around is crazy.
It's time to do a live pod from the Jelly Belly factory. Man,
Yep.
there's actually, if you go far enough, or not even far enough, but if you just know where to look, there's so much cool stuff around here. I remember when I was younger, my mom took me to, I doubt it's still there because I've never heard their name since. This little dark chocolate factory is called like Scharfenberger or something.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, the chocolate was incredible, but I was also like 10 or 11 years old, so I didn't like dark chocolate then. And they're like handing out samples. They're like, yeah, this is like the 25%, the 50%, the 75%. They're like, and I didn't try any of it. And they go, this is the 99% dark. Does anyone want to try it? And I shot my hand up. I bit into it and I immediately ran for the water fountain because I'm like, holy fuck, this isn't chocolate. This is just bitters.
Here, now you'll never want to eat chocolate again. Here you go.
Pretty much.
I
Yeah.
think I went there when I was in summer camp.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
sounds
know
right.
somebody else had I think Ham also has said something about Scharfenberger or something like that.
You know the coolest place I ever went to in the Bay Area? 3rd grade. My 3rd grade teacher, her husband was an animator at Pixar. So we got to take a field trip to Pixar.
Yeah.
I watched Finding Nemo prior to it coming out in theaters.
Oh, nice.
And the Pixar campus is so fucking cool.
When I was doing ATM stuff, one of my coworkers literally he was the only one allowed to go to Pixar to work on their ATMs, and he was always so happy to go there. And this motherfucker would be like gone for like 3 or 4 hours. So I know this motherfucker was just hanging out,
Bro's just watching
grabbing
Ratatouille
lunch,
on the clock.
just like hanging out there or whatever, working on their ATM, doing whatever, but just like he's taking his sweet ass time every time. So I've heard that place is really cool.
Yeah. I don't know if they do like public tours or anything, but it's one of the coolest places I can think of.
I've driven past the outside of it plenty of times, but
There used to be that you could go in Mountain View on the Google campus. You used to be able to like walk a trail, and they had all the old Android software statuettes on like this trail, like the big Android robot things, and like the old it was like Froyo and Ice Cream Sandwich, the old like Android names, but they had like statues of them. They took them all out for whatever reason.
That's whack.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite memory of anywhere in Mountain View and near the Google campus.
Google Bikes.
Of course it's Google Bikes.
It's got to be the Google
When we went to camp out for BFD, we were just like, ha ha ha, look
Right.
at us, beat a bunch of D-gens.
My favorite memory is when everybody got laid off.
Oh, from Live 105.
Jesus.
Live Nation said,
And
bye.
Google.
at least you're free.
Wait, what?
Didn't people get laid off from Google?
Oh, recently?
Like when people were doing the mass
Wasn't it like
layoffs?
Google, Twitter, and everything?
Oh, like right now, yeah. They
great
just
layoff.
laid a bunch of people off, and they did what everybody else does. They just hired a bunch of people in like India and China for less money. They just
Outsourcing.
moved that shit outside. Fucking there's I don't know. There's something about that really skeeves me out.
Hey.
I have patriotic words for shit like that, but not on this episode.
No, yeah, we'll get to that in another episode. I'm gonna lightning round my favorite Mountain View memory real quick. We camped out for BFD A1. We were all drinking, and we got to this hill, and he goes, "All right, guys, so I'm gonna run up this hill, and as far as I make it, like that's gonna be the success of the band right there." He he literally took one step and fucking face
One
planted.
step? I thought it was a little farther than that.
Maybe it was 2.
Okay.
But I distinctly remember that being a really good time.
Sign of things to come.
Nah, I think we were a little more successful than
Yeah,
one
I'm
step.
fucking around.
But yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good place for us to wrap for today. But again, we are coming to all your favorite podcasting places on June 6th. So hit us up there. As always, hit us up on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Seriously, tell me who you wanted to see at Sick New World, because I was there. I was there for Turnstile. There's like a billion bands there. A lot that I missed. So tell me what I missed out on. Hit us up, and we will see you next week. This is Common Rabble. I've been Hoodie.
DZ.
Pat.
And I'm A1.
And we'll see you later.